Hello, and welcome back to NapHammer. It's been a hot minute since I've been able to actually film anything for the channel, and I figured that I would kind of give a channel update and kind of talk about what's going on in my life, just because things are going on, and just kind of keep all, I think right now it's 21 of my subscribers informed as to what's going on, and it's something to film. Right now, as you can kind of tell, there's a lot of things behind me. There's a lot of kind of mess behind me, and that's because we are currently looking for a house. We're currently in the home buying process, but part of that process means we needed to start saving a lot of money, because, well, homes are expensive. One of the things that we did is we were renting out a garage for our apartment for storage, and we decided, you know what, we have some extra room, so we cleared that out in order to save some money, but now, unfortunately, that means that everything that was in our garage is now in our craft room, which is where I was filming most of my NapHammer videos. What that means is I won't have as much room to be able to film battle reports. There's not as much room for that going on as far as my solo Warcry campaign, so that's going to be on pause for a little bit. If I get a weekend where the wife and the boy and the dog are kind of out of the house for the whole day, then I might be able to film it, which I'm bummed about, but at the same time, it's a good reason to be bummed. It's a good reason to not have a bunch of to not be able to film. It's because we are looking for a house, which we'll be able to get one with a lot more space where I can kind of have my own studio room that isn't going to be filled up. But the other thing is, I know I have the parental painting projects and the narrative workshop still on there. I'll be able to film a lot more parental paintings just because I've been doing a lot more painting. Probably a little bit too much, to be honest, but it's okay. The narrative workshops, they take a lot longer to write because those ones are scripted. I have a lot more thoughts. I have a lot more things that I like to say. I like to go over. Those ones kind of take a little bit more editing. The reason I haven't been able to work on those as much is schools for us have gone back to in person. So because I'm a teacher, I'm back in the classroom teaching, and I also need to do lesson plans that take a lot more time than just the normal online, which was kind of quick, kind of easy. I could stay up until like 12 o'clock the night before online teaching and still have enough energy to teach online. But now that I'm in person, I'm kind of going to bed around 9, 10 o'clock, so that way I get enough rest to be able to teach in front of my students. So that just means I have a little bit less time for the narrative workshops. I'm hoping as summer comes along, I'll have some more time to be able to write those out. But what I'm looking forward to doing is, the last narrative workshop was the narrative pizza. The one that I'm currently writing is kind of pitfalls and how to specific pitfalls that you'll run into and how to avoid those pitfalls. After that, I have a narrative workshop for a campaign that I tried to run and that just completely blew up, and it was a terrible campaign, and I don't think it ever got finished. And the problem with that one was that I was just way too ambitious with what I wanted to do and who was available. Then following that, I have a couple campaigns that I did run that were successful. The first one was like an assault in Azir against one of Archaon's forts. Then after that, I made this whole entire campaign with a bunch of different gods to align yourself to and fight, and god fights over that. And then finally, my latest campaign that I did last year, I think it was the summer of 2019, while we were able to actually meet up in shops, was a campaign involving my homebrew free city of Hollowhold. So those are things to look forward to. Hopefully they'll be up during the summer and I'll be able to get more information out on those. Parental painting projects, however, I think those will be able to go on as normal, and I'll have a lot more painting projects coming up. I think in my very first video for the Get to Know Nat Paymer, I said that I didn't see myself getting into 40K. Yeah, I'm gonna... I have to eat those words. One of my friends got me into it, so I have a small Necron force that I'm building up. So probably the next couple parental painting projects that you see will be around those Necron forces. I've already got a bunch of things built and painted, so I got my nice Pew Pew Doomstalker laser. So we'll kind of be going over how to go over these paint schemes. I also, I think the next one that I'm going to film, I'm working on some death marks. So we'll get those guys and how to do the paint scheme that I do for them, as well as my Necron warriors. I call them the Copper Legion, just because they're kind of like a tin coppery paint scheme, and I'll make sure to have a video on how to do that. It's actually really easy. I think I've painted almost 1,200 points, and I started this army in February, and it's now end of March, and I have 1,200 points fully painted. So it's a really quick, it's a really easy paint scheme, and it actually looks really good. I really like how it looks. So these are my Copper Boys, my Rusted Little Penny Necron Warriors, so I'll be going over how to do those, how to do that paint scheme, and as well as how to do a couple different ones with that paint scheme. So yeah, if you lasted all, let's see, it's at the 7-minute timer now, and you watched through this whole video, I appreciate it. That's a lot more time than I wanted to spend on that. So yeah, hopefully maybe one of these weekends I can convince my wife to go see my mother-in-law and get the house to myself to be able to film the next part of the narrative campaign, because where are they? Spoiler. I'll give you an inside look at their opponents, which will be the Unmade, and there'll be a painting video on how to paint the Unmade that I made, but they look pretty sick. They're terrifying. So here's one of my Unmade models. Let's get that focused on there. Yeah. So that's who we'll be fighting. That's kind of who I'm hoping for next for that Warcry campaign. And hopefully either COVID restrictions around here will ease up and I can try and get a private room at the game store that I go to, or hopefully we'll get a house where I can get my own table. And then we could start, or I could start filming big Age of Sigmar and 40K battle reports. That would be awesome. So I'm going to close it off here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sitting down and watching and letting me rant, letting me kind of just tell you where the channel's going. I'm still here. It's just a season of life that's a little bit more busy. So, have a great day. I will see you in the next video. And as always, keep telling your stories. Bye. Oh, thank goodness I look less exhausted. 3, 2, 1, action. Hello! Welcome to Nat Paymer. I figured that it's been a hot minute since I've been able to really film something new for the channel. Well then, that's how someone feels about it.